All right, guys, there you have it. Italian style meatballs. Hi everybody, welcome back to Sergio Vidal Cooking Recipes. On this episode, we're going to be making Italian meatballs. All right, let's get right started with the ingredients. So in my mixing bowl, I have 1 kilo of 50/50 ground beef and ground pork. That's roughly about 2 pounds. All right, let's get started with our seasonings. So I'm going to start with just some regular table salt to start with our flavor. All right, we can always add more later if needed. Let's do some black pepper. Should be fine. I'm also gonna add in some chili powder, just a little bit of chili powder, just to give it a little spicy kick. I'm also doing 1 finely chopped red onion and about 4 to 5 garlic cloves finely chopped. Add that into our mix, our meatball mix. You can use a regular yellow onion if you wish as well. Let me bring the camera just a little bit closer. I'm also adding in some fresh parsley and fresh basil. Just a couple of leaves, not too much. I'm also tossing in some dry parsley as well. In this bowl, we have some oregano, dry parsley flakes. Just going to add a little bit extra because I didn't have a lot of fresh parsley. So I'm going to add a little bit of extra dry parsley. We have a half a cup of dry breadcrumbs. They're Italian style breadcrumbs mixed with garlic and a bit of parsley. Then I have a half a cup of Parmigiano Reggiano, Parmesan cheese, half of a cup. Let's add that into our mix, everything in. We're going to be doing 3 eggs. All right, let's do 3 eggs. Crack them in one at a time. I do 3 because it also makes your meatballs much softer using 3 eggs in this recipe. So I'm going to do 3 eggs. All right, let's get that out the way. All right, with my hands, they're washed. I'm just going to go in and mix my meatball mixture in my bowl. It's smelling divine with that fresh parsley, fresh basil, the fresh garlic and onions. Get that all mixed up really well. Get everything well incorporated. All right, that's well incorporated. Let's get started with forming our meatballs. All right, let's get some meatballs rolled up. I'll do a few just to show you guys. I'm just going to grab a little bit of water on my hand just to get it a little wet. That way the meatball won't stick. All right, just a nice ball, not too big. See those beautiful onions, fresh parsley and basil in there, wonderful. Let's do another one. Beautiful. All right. Just going to wet my hand a little bit, just on the palm of your hand. That way it helps that the meat doesn't stick to the palm of your hand, okay? Grabbing a little bit more and just rolling. Really simple. All right, I'm going to get the rest of these all rolled up and we'll move on with the next step. All right, welcome back, guys. I've rolled out 30 meatballs total, 30 meatballs. All right, we're going to pop these in the refrigerator just for a couple of minutes while we start our Italian meatball sauce. to go with these meatballs. I'm going to let all these ingredients incorporate into the meatballs. The onion, the garlic, the fresh basil, the fresh parsley that we put in, oregano. Let everything incorporate, settle in your refrigerator. Let's get started with our Italian meatball sauce. All right, in my large pot, I already got it on a medium-low heat, starting off with a low heat for now. Let's start drizzling in some extra virgin olive oil. That should be fine. And let's heat our olive oil just for a few moments. All right, our olive oil's been heating for about a minute. I have one medium-sized red onion and about between 5 to 7 garlic cloves, depending on the size. I use 7 because they weren't that big. Finely chopped, 1 red onion and about 7 garlic cloves. You can do about 5 if you wish. About 5 should do it. It's gonna give your Italian meatball sauce a really good flavor. The extra garlic, I can just smell that aroma already with the onions, the garlic, and the olive oil. Alright, we're gonna let that go for just a few moments. Let our onions get translucent. I'm adding in 1 whole tablespoon of tomato paste. Alright, that's gonna help thicken up our sauce as well. 1 whole tablespoon tomato paste. Get that well incorporated. We're gonna let that cook off a little bit with our onions and our garlic. Get rid of some of that acidity in the tomato paste. Just for a few moments. Let's add a little salt. That's been going for about a minute, guys. Just about a minute. I'm adding a little salt and a little black pepper, just a little bit, just to give our onions and our garlic a little bit of flavor with the tomato paste. All right, I'm putting in 1 whole cup of red wine. So a really good red wine. Make sure it's a red wine that you enjoy drinking. All right, not a cooking wine, an actual red wine. The better the recipe is going to be. All right, we're just going to let that bubble for a couple of minutes. All right, to glaze our pan a little bit. Some of that alcohol will go ahead and evaporate away as well, so don't worry about that. Just going to raise the temperature up to a medium-low. Let our pan deglaze and cook down that alcohol just a little bit with the tomato paste as well. We'll come check on it in a little bit. All right, guys, that's been bubbling away for about 3 minutes. We got some of the alcohol evaporated. It's smelling amazing in this house. Wish you guys were here to smell this. I'm going in with 2 500-gram jars of regular tomato sauce. 2 jars of tomato sauce. Just regular tomato sauce, all right, with no seasonings. All right, let's add our second one. I'm also going in with a can. This is a 390-gram can of crushed tomatoes. 1 whole can of crushed tomato. I'm going to do about 1/2 cup of water in my tomato sauce jar. Just give that a really good shake. And just pour that right in. I'm going to do the same thing with the other jar. About 1/2 cup of water. So we're doing about 1 full cup total of water. That's also being added into the recipe, all right? Just give that a really good shake. Collect some of that excess tomato sauce, and we'll put that in as well. Right, let's give that a good stir. Oh, it's smelling so good. So good. Give that a nice stir. Incorporate the wine. Beautiful. All right, let's add some seasonings. So we're gonna go in with some more salt. So we didn't really put that much on the onions and the garlic. So a little bit more salt, not too much. We can always go back in and taste the sauce later. And a little bit more ground black pepper, just regular black pepper. All right. I'm also doing a bit of oregano, just dry oregano flakes. Not too much because dry oregano is pretty strong. We're adding in a little bit more dry parsley. Just gonna open that. All right, that should be fine. And give that a really good stir. All right, we're gonna let this sauce cook for about a half an hour. Let it cook down, let it get rid of some of that acidity. I'm also gonna toss in a spoon of sugar. It will help with cutting down the acidity in the tomato sauce. That's optional if you wish, but I do find it does help to cut it down. You won't notice the sweetness just with a tablespoon of sugar, just regular white sugar. So just one tablespoon of white sugar, just to help out that sauce a little bit, just to give it a little help, reduce some of the acidity. All right, give that a really good stir. All right, we're gonna let that go on a low heat. While that goes on a low heat, I'm actually gonna push it back to my back burner, put it on a low heat. We're gonna start our meatballs. We're gonna pan, shallow fry the meatballs on each side. And we're gonna get a nice crust on each side of the meatballs. And then we'll put them in the sauce and we'll move on with the next steps. All right, in my large frying pan, I already got it heating. Just gonna go in with a couple of drizzles of extra virgin olive oil. Not too much because we're shallow frying our meatballs. All right, we're gonna let that heat up for a couple of moments and we'll go on with the next step. All right, the olive oil's been heating for about a minute. Let's start adding our meatballs. All right, so we're gonna do a couple for now. We'll then flip them over after a couple of minutes, get another nice golden brown crust on the other side, and we'll just basically repeat the process with the remaining meatballs that I have on my tray here. All right, let's let those cook and get a nice golden crust on that side, and we'll flip them over. All right, guys, on a medium-low heat, they've been cooking for about 2 minutes. We got our tomato sauce going back there. Make sure you do give that a spin occasionally so that your sauce isn't sticking to the bottom of your pot, okay? Let's flip over our meatballs. That beautiful golden crust, that's exactly what we're looking for. Nice golden texture on that side. Flip them over gently. I'm using tongs. Just gently flip them over. All right, now we're just gonna cook them on the other side for about another 1.5 to 2 minutes. Get another golden crust on the other side. We'll repeat the process. All right, here go all 30 meatballs. Nicely shallow fried on each side. Got a nice golden crust on each side of the meatball. All right, this also helped render off some of the fat. Okay, looking beautiful. Our tomato sauce is still going. It's been about 20 minutes so far, giving it an occasional stir about every 10 minutes. Right, make sure it's not sticking. We're gonna let that go for another 10 minutes, and then we can start adding in our meatballs. All right, guys, welcome back. Our tomato sauce has been going for 30 minutes total. All right, just giving that a really good stir. One final stir. We're gonna go in with a half a cup of Parmesan Reggiano, some more Parmesan cheese. Just like we did in our meatballs, we're also adding a half a cup to our meatball sauce. All right, let's give that a good stir. It's gonna make your sauce extra rich in flavor with that Parmesan cheese. Smelling great. Those meatballs smelled wonderful while they were shallow frying too. You could smell the Parmesan coming out as well. It was really, really beautiful cooking those. Try out the recipe, guys. I'm sure you will enjoy it. Your family is going to love this Italian meatball, authentic meatball recipe. All right, I'm also going in, which is a must in Italian meatball, some fresh basil. Just going to go in with some fresh basil. All right, just a couple of leaves. And give that a good stir. Incorporate our fresh basil leaves into the sauce. All right, not too many. I used about 7 leaves there and just cut them up with my hands. All right, because it will give a really robust flavor. Basil is pretty strong. All right, we did add a little bit of oregano and dry parsley to the sauce earlier. All right, I'm just gonna go in with another half a cup of water. Just another half a cup. And give that a really quick stir. All right. Let's add in our meatballs. Just add them directly into the sauce. We're going to let these meatballs go for about an hour and a half, 2 hours maximum. But we'll chuck them in about an hour and a half. The longer you go, the more tender these meatballs are going to be. Let them slow cook on a very low heat. All right. Just put in the rest of these. All 30. All right, we don't want that extra fat that's in the plate here, so I'm not going to put that extra fat. All right, there goes my last meatball. Just wash off my hand. All right, we're just gonna slowly give that a really quick turn. But you're not gonna touch this. You're gonna let the meatballs cook because you don't want them to break. Just a really slight turn in that sauce. All right, we're gonna let that go on a really low heat. Again, about an hour and a half, 2 hours max. I'll let you know how long I cooked them, but we're going to go about an hour and a half, and I think this should be ready. All right, let's go ahead and let this cook. Low heat, let it simmer, and we'll come back on check on it. All right, guys, it's been about a half an hour, and our meatballs have been bubbling away. I did spin it just once or twice. Every 10 minutes, within the first 10 minutes, I just gave it a really quick stir, making sure that the sauce isn't sticking to the bottom of the pot. All right, I'm just gonna add another half a cup of water because the sauce is thickening up a bit. This will evaporate down. So just another half a cup of water. And give that a really good stir. Just 1 or 2 stirs should be fine. All right, we don't want to disturb the meatballs. All right, I did put a lid halfway closed, not all the way sealed, just so that the sauce isn't splattering all over the place. All right, we're gonna let that go for about another hour. It's been 30 minutes so far, so another hour, and this should be done. We'll go ahead and start our pasta, our spaghetti. All right, once it's almost done, I'm just going to put that halfway done, low heat, let that continue to simmer. Welcome back, everybody. Our meatballs are ready. Our spaghetti has come out as well. Our spaghetti with meatballs, authentic Italian style meatballs. I added some more Parmesan Reggiano on top of the meatballs and a bit of basil just for some decor in the middle. Just gonna add a little extra. Why not? All right. This is looking marvelous, guys. I'm ready to eat. Let's give this a really good taste. All right, we're just gonna cut into one of these meatballs so I can show you guys how it's cooked in the middle. It's cutting nice and tender. Just look inside of that meatball. Beautiful, nice and juicy. Still piping hot out of that meatball sauce. Just gonna cut it a little bit more. All right, guys, there you have it. Italian style meatballs. I'm gonna give this a go, give this a try. God bless. Enjoy. There goes your first bite. Amazing, fantastic. Beautiful flavors. That Parmesan cheese is so good. Make sure you guys get yourselves a really good Parmesan cheese. Don't skimp out. Get a really good brand. The flavors of the wine, the garlic, the onions, the fresh basil. Like the video if you enjoyed the content as always. Subscribe to the channel. Be sure to hit that bell notification so you're notified when I upload a new video. God bless everybody, and I'll catch you on the next episode.